Welcome to a special PowerBlock presentation of an all-new Search and Restore. Today our Give Back series continues with the retrieval and full restoration of a rare automotive icon, one with a rich heritage in NASCAR. Here's Search and Restore.
On this edition of Search and Restore, it is a rare machine indeed, a remnant of old Detroit. Long gone, but not forgotten. We'll meet a PowerBlock viewer who is all about the Hudson. Tim surprises this Michigan man while fulfilling a daughter's wish to bring joy back to her daddy's life by seeing his mighty Hornet fly once again.
Here we are at another pickup. Came to Central Michigan this time to pick up a 51 Hudson Hornet. I love 50s cars and I love oddball makes. Got a few custom touches in mind. Little air suspension, maybe some wide whites. Really looking forward to this project.
With the Hudson safely secured in the back, it's daybreak by the time the boys make the 500-mile trip back from Michigan to the Tech Center in Tennessee. Tim hopes to find an eager first wave of volunteers for project number 7.
There it is, guys. Fresh from Michigan.
I don't see any rust on this thing. It's not your typical Michigan car.
The weird thing about some of these projects is we get them that are really, really bad. This one, good thing. It's had a lot of work already done to it. Small world. Started looking at some of the rust repair and stuff, and I was like, man, rust repair was done really good. And I asked him who it was. It was a good friend of mine, Dave Otten Jr., from up in Michigan, not far from Tom. He did some work when Tom had some money here and there. He's put the bear claw latches in it. He's gapped it. He's fit it pretty good.
Super solid, way better than we could ever dream.
I think it's really straight.
There's a few little dents in the bodywork that or in the fenders that need to be straightened and stuff, but it's typical for a car that's 60 years old. But it's going to need a bunch more work, obviously. But when we get done with it, I think it'll look good.
My name's Tom Moore, and I love my Hudson. My grandpa was the first one in our family to buy a Hudson. It was a brand new 51 Hudson Hornet Club Coupe. My dad bought a 49 Hudson that was brand new. Probably over 100 Mopars have had Chargers and Challengers and Roadrunners, you name it. I was looking for a Hudson Hornet that was a clean body. And I looked at a lot of cars, and there are a lot of cars I passed up on. But when I saw how solid this one was, I couldn't pass it up.
That was 17 years ago when Tom Moore and his bride Lisa found this beauty in upstate New York. He's the second youngest of 8 and the only gearhead in the family, which meant he did all the wrenching. But why go from muscle cars to a Hudson?
Because the car was so much more durable and the engineering was so much better than the average car. They had the lower center of gravity and the center point steering and the excellent handling. 308 straight 6 was awesome motor.
But the gearhead in Tom saw something better.
So this is the garage where my car's at. I wanted to put a drivetrain out of a 70 Roadrunner in it. I put a 440 in it and a torque plate, an 8 3/4 rear end, put some disc brakes on it and hot rodded up.
What's the saying? Life got in the way. A serious fall off a roof years ago left Tom with a shattered ankle and a bad back. He lost his non-union job at Chrysler, and after several surgeries, Lisa became the breadwinner by earning a degree in nursing.
It's been rough. I'm unable to work right now, and I can't pass a physical to go back to work.
The couple moved in next door to Tom's elderly parents. He takes care of them full-time while the Hudson sits in the garage unfinished.
I've always worked on my feet. I've always worked hard, as long as I could. It was the easiest thing to do. It made me happy to do that. And so I really don't have that anymore.
But what Tom has is a family who thinks the world of him, evident to us by the application video sent in.
Such a wonderful son.
Testimony from mom and dad, brother, son-in-law, Lisa, his wife, and especially from 22-year-old daughter, Taylor, the apple of Tom's eye.
My dad's always been a hard worker. When he lost that job, I think he kind of lost a part of him. I think he feels like less of a man now that he can't provide for his family. Just to see a real smile on his face again would be, is my dream.
Okay, car back to where it was. So here's what kind of the plan is. At Jimmy Smith from Jimmy's Hot Rod Design, do the artwork and kind of see what we're gonna do. It's gonna have wide whites, chrome wheels, steel chrome, some of the factory Hudson stuff. We're gonna change some of the stainless a little bit, chrome bumpers. Still kind of the stock Hudson nose on it. Since he's such a big Hudson fan, I don't feel right about changing the grill and stuff on it. This is more like a pirate code. It's more of a guideline than anything else. So priority one is chop some inches out of that top. So that's it, boys. I think it looks awesome.
Hang it up.
Coming up, will the men turn this coupe into a convertible? Plus, see Tom's reaction when our rig pulls into his driveway.
Hey guys, we'll get right back to Search and Restore, but first meet Memphis entrepreneur, car collector, and Bonneville racer George Poteet. George, welcome to PowerBlock.
Great to be here, Courtney.
Now you're the owner of this stunning 56 Pro Touring shoebox. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a 56 Chevy 210 base model that we changed the grill. It's a handmade, hand-cast grill. Side trim was handmade. Top was chopped. It has a two-door hardtop roof on it, and wheels were custom made. The engine is an aluminum Rodak with SP2 heads that around 480 horses. Trimic 5-speed transmission. Interior was custom built by Rad Rides in Manteno, Illinois, and it's turned out the way we wanted it.
More with George, who's officially the fastest man on the planet in a piston-driven machine, coming up. But right now, back to Search and Restore.
We're gonna chop his top for him. I've never personally chopped a Hudson, so that's why I got all you guys here this week. Okay, who's got the tape measure?
18 5/8.
Has any of you guys ever chopped the Hudson?
Never chopped a Hudson.
If you move metal, you move metal.
The thing that you learn the most is there are just so many different ways to go about it.
Kind of like anything else, I always say you sneak up on it and you stand back and you look.
The men are confident they made the right choice for a project. But did we choose the right viewer?
I've been looking for a Hudson car for years.
One way to find out, make the 600-mile drive due north to Flint, Michigan, and surprise them at home.
That's his house up there. Tom?
How are you?
Tim.
Nice to meet you.
Something to show you out here.
All right.
We got the trailer so we can take your car today.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
No way.
We're here to actually take it today. All right, I'm Tim.
It's strange.
Tim.
This is unbelievable.
What's this mean to you guys? You seem awful happy.
It means everything. It means everything.
See, people that aren't really car people, they're just, oh, it's just an old car or whatever, but.
It's literally like a member of the family. Like
Yep.
it's been with us for so long.
And the car's at their house, right?
Yeah, right
It's
next
just right
door.
next door? Yep. Let's go over there.
Okay.
We're picking up the car today.
How you doing?
This is Tim Strange.
We're taking the Huddy today.
This is a wonderful day. It really is.
Wow, it's unlike the other ones that we usually start with. It actually has a floor still in it. Very cool. My mind's going 100 miles an hour right now.
It's like my heart.
And it's a 1951. That thing's like showroom new compared to what it really should be. I'm pretty excited about this and kind of feeling him out, what he likes, what he don't like.
You can push it out if you like.
So what was kind of your plans on this? What kind of direction was you wanting to go to?
I was thinking something like a candy apple blue with either some gold flake somewhere, metal flake. I want to keep the original trim on it with a pork chop up the side.
You have all that?
I have all that, yep.
Headlight change or anything like that?
Yeah,
or?
I have 55 Olds headlights that I wanted to put in it to give it an eyebrow, because I think that would look cool.
About the top?
It already looks chopped. What, you want to chop it?
I'm just asking. I'm just feeling you out here.
If you want to do it, you can do it.
Let's look at the parts you got in here.
Okay.
Is this the rear bumper up here?
Yep, that's 3 pieces. I'd like to get it all welded into one, if you want to do that.
Man, the list just keeps getting longer and longer, don't it? What we got in here? Nothing?
Those are the chrome parts in there.
Okay.
You have no idea what this means to him. Oh my gosh. He never thought he was going to get to do this again. Never. He didn't think it was ever going to happen. I know that he'll be able to come look at the car, and it will, no matter what kind of day he's having, this car will change it. If it's a bad day, this car is going to make it a good day.
Doing good. Straighten her out. I'm going to get on the road, get back to the tech center.
Thank you very much.
We'll take good care of it. We'll see you later.
Have a safe trip.
Thanks. I said earlier about an inch, inch and a quarter, and he looked at me and go, well, that's a waste of time.
Honestly, when I chop them, I'd take another inch out of the back there. I'd be taking 5 out if it was up to me.
2? I'm thinking 2. That window opening is about 12 inches. We go down to 10 inches.
I don't cut the window loose.
I don't either.
I go to here.
So then it tips. Then you know your centering's all done too.
3 here and 4 back there.
Yeah, it depends on how we can get the angle with the glass too. I wanted to cut it just about an inch, inch and a quarter. Voodoo Larry likes them really low. He wanted to cut like 6, 7 inches out of it.
We'll take a cutoff wheel and cut it, and that way the top is the same on both sides.
Pat wanted to cut just a few inches, so we compromised, took about 2 in the front and about 2.5 in the back. But before we cut the top off, we put a whole bunch of bracing in this thing to hold it true and square.
Coming up, volunteer talent show off their incredible metalworking skills when Tom's Hudson gets chopped. Stay tuned.
Any final thoughts before you cut?
Nope, I'm just gonna start cutting. This thing is full of metal. I think you could crush or melt this baby down and build like 14 Priuses out of this thing. You just cut a pillar out, it's not just one thickness. There is layers of steel everywhere in this thing. They don't build them like this anymore.
Now, where did the idea of chopping the top come from originally? It goes back to the early days of hot rodding and record speed runs on the salt flats and dry lake beds out west. Chopping was an attempt to reduce the frontal profile of a car to increase its speed potential. Some racers chopped their cars so severely that the windows were only a few inches tall. And pretty soon, hot rodders everywhere were adopting this look for the street and the drive-in.
So when you're slicing the top on anything, you got to get guys that know what they're doing.
All right, it's almost loose.
So I did a lot of research. A lot of these guys I've known for years, or have respected their work, or seen pictures of their work in magazines and online. I got the right crew this week.
Without a doubt, the most experienced volunteer this week is Pat Keating. Pat's got more than 50 years under his belt doing this kind of work.
Chopping tops is really what I specialize in. For one good reason, you don't have to crawl around under the car. In school, I was always drawing cars. I don't know why. We really never even had a car till I turned 16. Naturally, had to lower my first car, heat and cut the springs and stuff. And it was just, we're talking about back in the 50s.
From those simple beginnings, Pat has built quite a resume of customizing work, including this awesome 50 Mercury for Billy F. Gibbons of ZZ Top. But don't mistake anything he does for restoration.
Restoration, you got to find the right part, the right numbers. And one good thing about customizing is if it's wrong, if you don't tell nobody it's wrong, it's not wrong. You put a headlight in too low, as long as you put the second one in too low, it works. I am amazed, the quality that's going into it. I've been doing tops literally for 55 years. I think I'm pretty good at it, but after seeing a couple of these guys, whew, I mean, it makes me feel good, really, because they're a lot younger than me, and there's some talent out there.
What's really refreshing and what makes us all feel good is that there's younger guys. There's guys that are in their 20s that are passionate about the founding fathers of hot rodding. Pat's one of those guys.
This is going to be one nice color.
That's what's cool. We all get here, come together, build a really cool car for a good dude. Ready? Should be loose. And we all have a blast, and we all learn a little thing from each other. What do you guys think about making this just a roadster?
Next, a lot of detail work goes into building a custom lead sled. More metal magic when Search and Restore continues.
We might get a little grief for cutting the top on this old classic car, but anybody can restore a car. It takes a real man to cut one up.
B-pillar's not gonna clear, gang. Cut the B-pillars out.
Day 2 of the build, and major modifications are well underway, including a 2-inch chop, along with custom headlights and taillights. All modifications our owner Tom Moore had in mind when he bought the car 17 years ago. For the eyebrows on the front, Daniel Valjavec and Brad Westergaard tackle the custom fab.
We got 55 Oldsmobile headlight rings going in. We're gonna move them around, drop them down a little bit. And then in the back, we got 39 Lincoln Zephyr lights, aftermarket LED lenses, and put it all together. So it should be cool.
We're trying to follow the contour of this fender, the shape of it. So what I do is just put the Sharpie on there and look from the side and make sure that it's got a nice curve to it and see if you have to go up or down.
You can't just put them on. You got to do a little metal surgery.
See what the deal is, these rings, these headlight rings aren't round, they're more
know,
oval.
they got
the
oval,
sides,
so.
yeah. The sides, I'm having a hard time matching them up.
You can't just put them on because they got this cool little arc forward. So you kind of got to bring them forward, bring them down, bring them back out, and do a lot of metal surgery to make them work, but the look's going to be well worth it.
I'm getting ready to tack this plate in so we can put the taillights in.
We did a little more metal surgery back there, carry a little body line on them because it's going on a round curved fender and a nice flat taillight and a little peak to carry in the body lines that are all over this car.
With the start of a new day, Voodoo Larry customizes the hood by rounding the corners for a slick and subtle vintage custom trick.
Normal person walks up to that car, oh, it's pretty, it's shiny, looks good. They're not gonna notice that the hood corners are rounded, you know? Just that little bit of changes, and my personal, for doing it for over 30 years, this needs it.
With custom mods of the Hudson underway, Tim and the gang set their attention to the back half of the build.
Well, it's kind of crazy witchcraft to cut glass down. So we actually have Voodoo Larry's glass guy. It's coming down from Chicago to cut the glass in one of these next weeks coming up on the show. Front glass is 2-piece laminate safety glass. You can cut it. The back glass is a tempered piece, which means you don't cut that. You try cutting that, you're gonna have a whole bunch of little pieces you don't know what to do with.
The rear roof is chopped, keeping the window frame intact so the glass can be reused.
Simply chop the top and lay this windshield forward. The contours of the metal are not coming together, and instead of trying to manipulate that and take a chance of changing the shape of the window, I'm making a template, and we're just going to cut all that out and form a piece and fix it all in one shot instead of adding a lot of pieces to the roof. We just want to put just a slight roll into it. The body already had so much roll in it previously that we need less. So just a slight bit is going to cut it.
What's sexy about the chop? Absolutely everything. Look at those guys. They're still going crazy. They got the top cut off and they're still trying to figure out what to do.
We are back with George Poteet, who's not only an avid car collector, but the fastest man on the planet in a piston-driven car at 439 miles per hour. But recently, you went even faster at Bonneville.
We just got back from Bonneville last week and made one pass for 453 out there. Last year I made a pass 462.
Unbelievable. Do you ever get scared?
Not scared, but nervous occasionally.
You have a 1,000-acre car compound.
Well, we've got a farm in Mississippi that is a car farm. We've got 13 buildings, 100 or so cars, anything. The oldest car I got there is a 1928 Ford, and mostly 32 Fords, 61 Fords, 63 Fords, several Chevrolets, a couple of GTOs, just hodgepodge of what I dreamed about when I was a boy.
George, it was so cool having you as a guest today and talking cars with you. Thank you for coming in.
We're happy to be here. We'll love coming in this part of the country, and we'll be back if you want us.
Well, absolutely. Memphis is close. You have to come back with some of your other cars.
We'd love to.
Awesome. And now back to Search and Restore.
Even with the top now sitting 2 inches lower, there's still far more metal work to be done on this old Hudson.
We lay this out in 4 weeks worth of build. Metal week, body week, paint week, and assembly week. So when you're slicing a top on anything, you got to get guys that know what they're doing, no rookies. So I did a lot of research. A lot of these guys I've known for years or have respected their work or seen pictures of their work in magazines and online. I got the right crew this week.
It's looking really good. It's down to fine finesse metal finishing. These guys are amazing. It's going great.
I actually had like almost 50 people that wanted to come for Metal Work Week because I wanted to help chop a car. So I kind of had to narrow it down.
And the metal wizards Tim chose bring some amazing skills, including Voodoo Larry Grobe, Pat Keating, Zach Horn, Daniel Valjevac, Brad Westergaard, and Brad Starks, along with his protege they call Matchstick, who gave the rear some uniqueness.
What I've been doing to the bumper is working in a set of bumper guards from a mid-50s Chevy and also a license plate surround, I believe from a late 40s Chevy as well. So it has a smooth shaved look to match the front bumper, which was already that way.
We're fortunate that Jet Tools of Laverne, Tennessee donated a variety of metal machinery to the Tech Center. Their 24-inch planishing hammer is perfect for another custom touch. Hudson's came with what many thought were unattractive running lights on the grille. And since the owner provided these wooden bucks, 18-gauge steel is used to form the extensions for a smooth look.
Getting a real good fit.
Since we took some metal out of here, we chopped the top, brought this down. Not only do you got to do everything on the outside and all the window mechanisms and tracks, you got to do the garnish moldings. This is a garnish molding. Interior trim. It just doesn't fit quite right anymore. So I'm going to cut it. I'll screw the top piece on, cut out, screw, and start welding back together.
Of all the metal masters Tim has picked for this build, Voodoo Larry has the coolest name.
We gotta chop the wing window frame down.
I'm a top chop guy. You know, I like to chop the tops on cars. I've done close to 50 cars now, and all the way from Model A's up to 60s cars. Of course, I like chopping radical. I like 5, 6, 7, 8-inch chops on cars. I like them make them look hammered. In my opinion, I think every 50s car should have bent windows. They came with them from the factory. You know, a lot of guys, they kind of either get lazy and they don't want to cut the wing window, because this is a lot of work. You got to puzzle them back together. But if it's done right, it's well worth it. You see what the Hudson looks like out there with a couple inches taken out of them.
Pivots out, pivots in.
That's good.
So here's the artwork of the car again. And you can see the artist, we had him just draw the stock parking lights on there. Here's what Brad Starks did. He made these pieces from scratch to taper this off. You can see how big the original parking lights were. Then once he built this, since that parking light was so big, this was short, so they added this on, metal finish, all that. Welded this onto here, and that'll be all taken care of when it's chrome. Pretty awesome.
Next, more custom touches for this 51 Hudson Hornet. Stay tuned. Three days into the build, Tim Strange and his volunteer team have already logged over 500 man-hours into chopping the top and smoothing over this rare 51 Hudson Hornet coupe.
I think the amount of work that we're doing to it and the amount of time we have is surprising, because there's cars that get this much work and it takes months to do. So we've got so many guys here that it's taken, you know, a couple of days to do this much work to it. It's a lot of work to be doing in like 3 days.
Another thing we're doing to make this thing custom and really safe is Scott's Hot Rod sent us this underneath the dash, right angle, master cylinder, power booster, and brake pedal assembly that goes underneath the dash. It doesn't come through the firewall at all. And to check it, it's got a remote reservoir that you can check and fill from the engine compartment. That's the only thing that's going to be on the firewall. Pretty custom.
Now, one of the most labor-intensive jobs is next. The guys have to grind down every part of this Hudson to get old paint and residue off the car to make sure it's ready for next week, when filler, primer, and paint are applied. But this certainly doesn't signal we're done.
Due to the fact that we chopped the top on the car does not have a finished edge around the windows. The molding does not fold around the window, the rubber molding. So we have to cut down the factory stainless to make it fit the new openings. They're 2 inches shorter, and we leaned the B-pillar, so now all the angles have changed too. So what we've done here is made a little jig that is going to hold our moldings flat as we try to bend them, because the molding tries to fold over as it's put a sharper bend in it. We'll clamp this down. We're going to heat this edge, and we can pull it under here, and we'll pull more bend into it, and it'll keep it from folding due to the gap that we measured out, the same as the molding. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably a 9.8 on difficulty. There's no room for body filler or anything, because it's all got to be polished. So everything has to be welded, hammered straight, filed out. I don't know why Tim chose us to do the job. Probably because he didn't want to do it himself.
Today, we got to build the exhaust. We'll finish the rear suspensions, make the shock mounts, the lower airbag mounts, put the dash back in final. I think that's about it.
I don't know if it's kismet, karma, or just plain luck, but Brad used to run an exhaust shop, and he's the guy really kind of masterminding this exhaust system, so we're gonna have an awesome exhaust system.
Yeah, that's the one I had over here that we're gonna have to use. I didn't know. Today we've got 2 complete Flowmaster universal exhaust systems. Between the 2, we're gonna fabricate 1 system for the Hudson and install it today. From the headers, back, through the mufflers, and out by the back bumper.
Helping Brad out is Daniel Valjevac. Daniel just celebrated the open house of his 6,000 square foot hot rod shop in Huntersville, North Carolina. He's a native of Serbia who left his homeland when he was 12 for a better life in the good old USA. It is perhaps Daniel who has traveled farther than anyone to get to the tech center.
Cars over there, mostly hatchbacks, diesels, 4 cylinders, just a whole bunch of different European cars.
So needless to say, Daniel seemed very pleased with our big American 51 Hudson and the way it was turning out.
Ja mislim da su kola ispala veoma dobro, imaju dobre linije, izgledaju veoma klasično. Svi ljudi što su bili radili tu su veoma dobri majstori. That's it.
The Hudson is a unibody, so we cut a C, that's hence a C notch, tilted like this. We cut out of the frame for axle clearance to go up. Boxed it all in, welded it up, ground it down. We wanted the exhaust up and over the rear end, so we cut part of the floor out, built the exhaust, and then built a new pan. I think like 5.5 inches we raised the trunk floor.
The custom touches don't stop with an air ride suspension.
Part of the thing of a custom car, it's kind of an artistic expression of what everybody thinks their dream car is. And old Dave from Brad Stark's place, they know him as Matchstick. He come up with this really cool thing to do on the bumper.
I made the license plate pop the trunk.
Pretty cool. So week 1, with all this custom metal work we done, we're just shy of 600 man hours. Man, that is insane. We started out with a stock-bodied 51 Hudson Hornet at the beginning of the week. The end of the week, 5 days, custom lights, custom bumpers, custom part of the grill, a few inches out of the top, and man, a really cool ride height.
There's not a straight, sharp angle anywhere on the car. Everything on it's round.
We got so much work done this week. We had 9 guys in here, all total pros in whatever they do, building customs, lead sleds, hot rods. Awesome metal, man. I did good homework because these guys were unbelievable.
I think we'll pack up and go home.
New week means new crew as the Hudson is prepped for the paint booth. Stay tuned. With the start of a new week come new volunteers. Tim rounded up some serious fresh meat from across the country, and even a guy from New Zealand, to assist in bringing this Hudson Hornet out of retirement.
What we'll do first thing is we're gonna take the grinders. Most of the grinding and metal work's already been done on it. It sat over the weekend with a little humidity. Oil from the hands has rusted it up a little bit, so we're just gonna take the grinders over it, rough it back up with some 36 grit. And then we're gonna roll it over the prep station. I like to do is mix up a little of the U-Paul, it's a fiberglass Bondo mixture, and just skim over every place where there's welds. Bodywork week on week 2 is the most labor intensive, hardest working, a lot of sweat, and man, we work our butts off. So we spent all day body working this thing, and we skim coated it with body putty. It looks like a lot to some of you guys at home, but you can see there's a lot of metal cut throughs. That means it's just a skim coat, really, really thin. We spread it, we sand it, we spread it, we sand it, we spread it, we sand it, and get it really, really smooth and flat. Getting ready to put it down, wheel it in the booth, and put some primer on it.
Because this is the most labor-intense week, build leader Tim Strange combed through dozens of volunteer applications. The 8 guys chosen came from all parts of the country.
The crew from Michael's Precision Automotive from Las Vegas, New Mexico. They drove up all the way from New Mexico. Anything you want them to do, they'll do it.
It is a true family business. We built the shop from nothing to probably, it's the most recognized shop in Las Vegas.
They will not sit, they won't stand still, anything. Hey boss, what do you want to do? Hey boss, what do you want me to do? You guys from New Mexico, quit calling me boss.
Other volunteers this week include a pair of gearheads from Indy and another from Daytona Beach who took vacation to soak in the search and restore experience.
Best part, really, just getting to work with the guys and build something cool and just watch it evolve quickly and get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
We got Ronnie. He came down from Indianapolis. Ronnie came to me the beginning of the week and kind of says, I'm not that comfortable doing body work, but I can do it. You got some fab work that I can do? So once the radiator showed up and the fans from All-Star, I put him to work on that and he nailed it.
All-Star provided us with this universal radiator, and I will be creating a radiator mount to install into the 51 Hudson.
Ronnie cuts the steel, and the shroud starts to take shape.
Right now I've got the main structure built, and I'm just tacking it together.
Once it's welded and sanded, Ronnie snips the shroud for proper radiator fitment.
Nice, comfy home for our radiator.
First day with a new crew, sometimes it's a little slow. They get used to cameras, where the tools are and everything. And just the amount of hours that we put in yesterday with the crew that we had was somewhere between 120 and 150 man hours in one day. Man, I think this is the fastest, hardest working crew right out of the gate that we've had yet.
Coming up, we'll connect with our owner and his wife via the internet and provide a sneak peek at the power plant for his Hudson Beast. Stay tuned. In a little over a week, Tom's 51 Hudson has undergone a full body treatment, from a 2-inch chop, headlight, taillight, and bumper transformations, and subtle modifications that cry full-on custom.
If you're used to like collision or late model jobs where you ding a shopping cart hits you or whatever and you got a little bitty spot that you body work, these things, it's a 1951, so it's gonna have some ripples. And back then, the stampings from the factory weren't all that awesome, so there's some factory waves and ripples in it anyway. If you had to metal finish that till it needed absolutely no filler work, you would be here till the cows come home.
Which is why Tim and the team spent the last 24 hours bodyworking the Hudson to fill in the imperfections.
So everybody always asks us what kind of primer we use. Well, here it is. Clausen makes a Z-Chrome Rust Defender. It's a polyester primer. It's got some zinc in it, so it bites to the bare metal, and it feels like unbelievable. All of our paint and body supplies, other than the color and the clear, comes from Auto Body Color here in Nashville. When I told them that we're gonna body work this thing and we're not gonna go to sleep until it's in first primer, I kind of got that look like, what? And then like, man, we had it in the booth before we even stopped for pizza last night. So we baked it, we're pulling it out this morning. We're gonna sand it again. We're gonna prime it again. We're gonna sand some more. And then we're gonna prime it again and sand some more.
I said, you can sand if you want to. You leave your sand behind.
Got this guy named Tony. He emailed me like 100 times. Wanted to come be on the show, wanted to come be on the show. And so I plugged him in, and he's been awesome.
Tim Strange bought these 3M blocks that are mainly for marine use, and he's adapted them to automotive use. They're real long, fat, wide, they're lightweight, and they really give you a good long blocking surface to do a nice X pattern, and it really saves time and does a great job as far as the overall appearance of the bodywork itself.
The team had to use a dummy engine block for mock-up. That is until the real deal arrived.
Now, we wanted to honor the history between Chrysler and Hudson, stick with a big block 440-based engine. Now, Indy Cylinder Head got wind of how we're helping out a PowerBlock viewer, and this is how they decided to lend a helping hand.
It's their 500-inch street wedge crate engine, based off the legendary Chrysler 440. It's been fully tested, dyno tuned, run in, and it's ready to run right out of the box. Aluminum heads, dual plane intake, Eagle crank, and this puppy runs on pump gas at 9.5 to 1 compression, kicking out an awesome 525 horse and 575 foot-pounds of torque.
With bodywork nearly complete and our big block in-house, it was a good time to check in with our owner from his home in Michigan.
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Good morning. We're doing great.
This is Tom and Lisa Moore. They own the Hudson that we were working on. Are you ready to see some little teasers for your car?
Yep. I'm pumped.
We had just a little bit of problem with the car, and we got some leftover parts. I think that came out of the door post, and this might have come out of like the B pillar. So are you still okay with us finishing it?
Yep. Yeah. I trust you 100%.
Yes. We got this guy here. You might know him. He's from trucks. Kevin's helping us.
Tom, I got to ask you, I can't imagine what it's like not having your car with you and just trusting somebody else sending it all those miles away. What does it feel like?
It's been like a whirlwind to walk out to the garage and have the wide open space there. And I have different dreams every night about what it could possibly look like.
We got something else that we want to show you. Kevin, bring it in.
Okay.
This bad boy is from our friends at Indy Cylinder Head. We wanted to stick with a Chrysler-based motor. This is a 440-based 500-inch block. It's got all the best stuff. This thing will carry you down the road, my friend. 525 horsepower, 575 foot-pounds.
It's unreal.
So this means quite a bit to both of you.
We've been waiting so long, and I found that little note I wrote to him years ago that I promised his car would get done no matter what, and we just found the note.
That's awesome.
It just brought it all back.
You didn't really pay close attention the whole time we did all this. Now I'm hiding my hands. If you would have paid attention, you might have got a glimpse of what color the car is, but now you can't see my hands any longer. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work.
Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you so much.
Yep, no problem, man. I gotta get back to it.
All right.
See ya.
Yep, you take care, Tim. Thank you. Thank everybody.
Our volunteers are making great progress on the Hudson, and you'll see us reveal it and give it back to viewer Tom Moore and his family coming up. Right now, back to the shop.
Day 8, and with most of the priming and blocking complete, build leader Tim Strange and his volunteer team get ready to remove the suspension so what's underneath can be painted.
We are dismantling all the fender wells and all the trim so we can now start doing all the detail work on the vehicle now that the car's basically all the body work's been done.
Welcome to the glorious world of TV right there. That's what that is.
That's what hard work looks like.
You look right at the camera. There you go.
This is after the makeup lady.
What we got going on here is the whole front end is welded on like a true custom car. I've got everything prepped, bodywork and sealer. And now we're gonna put like 3 colors across the firewall because there's gonna be 3 colors on the outside of the car. So I'm gonna spray this first color down, which that'll end up being like the pinstripe color. Mask off another color, let that dry, mask off, put another color.
Our 20-day build schedule is doable thanks to the dozens of volunteers who shut down their shops for the cause. One grew up a generation apart, the other a half a world away. Chris Slee of Kiwi Classics and Customs has by far made the longest journey to get to the PowerBlock. Chris was born in Auckland, New Zealand.
So I moved from New Zealand to America, into Texas, into Tennessee, and here I am at PowerBlock TV.
And no, Kiwi doesn't necessarily mean the fruit.
Okay, a kiwi is a small flightless bird that is unique to New Zealand. It is our national bird. It's been adopted by the country as, I guess, a slang term for New Zealanders. So if you see a New Zealander, if you call them a kiwi, that's a nice thing to do.
We got Al Peterson that came in from Minnesota. I have known him pretty much, I think, my whole life. He's a friend of my dad's. My dad's 56 Nomad came from Al's shop.
I met Tim in front of his parents' house. He was a year old. He had this big, nice smile on his face, and I looked over at him and he went, oh, and he started to cry, and he cried and cried and cried. And I thought, what a brat. He's turned into a really fine guy, and what you see on the show is not acting. This is Tim Strange. Tim Strange is wild and crazy, but he's a real compassionate, real caring person, but don't tell him I told you that.
I grew up in a body shop.
It's for sure our Colmet paint booth is getting a workout. The guys are loading in all of the drivetrain components because even though they're under the car, they're still going to match the paint scheme that's going to grace the top of the Hudson. They may be a pretty blue, but still very functional.
Our gearbox started with a vintage Chrysler core donated by Stevens Performance in Anderson, Alabama. Now the transmission was built by Bowler Performance. And it's an already tough 727 torque flight beefed up with their heavy-duty internals and extra line pressure for a nice firm shift. But the torque converter is matched perfectly with the specs of the cam, so it's going to marry itself awesome to this car. But the Gear Vendors Overdrive Company sent this tail shaft overdrive that essentially turns that 3-speed into a semi-automatic 6-speed transmission, giving you both the versatility of the steep gears off the line for a nice takeoff, but also 15 to 20% better fuel economy on the highway, which makes it perfect for this Hudson Cruiser.
Now the pace is really beginning to pick up. The 8 3/4 Mopar axle housing that our owner Tom had is now painted and going into place. Following that, the Mustang 2 A-arms and spindles, courtesy of Fat Man Fabrications. And back in the paint booth, Tim is laying down the same blue paint on the inner fenders before the serious paint work on the body can begin. We'll just let these dry for now. Up next, we'll meet a husband and wife interior team who like to do it on the road. Plus, Tim breaks out the paint chart and throws down some color. Stay tuned.
The Hudson tradition continues. There's one dealership still open in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and they still sell Hudsons.
Dating back to 1927, Miller Motors is the oldest Hudson dealership in the country, still providing service and parts to Hudson collectors.
It's the Auto Museum. Yes, the Hudson Hornet has returned from Florida.
Curator Jack Miller preserved his father's dealership's authentic condition. It's a snapshot in time, consisting of advertising, engineering, repair, and promotional items from over 85 years in business.
Hudsons were special because for their whole life they were regarded as being over-engineered, overbuilt, very good performing, very good handling cars.
The museum features 30 historic cars, including the infamous 52 Hudson Hornet driven by NASCAR champion Herb Thomas, and a super rare 33 Hudson Terraplane. So if you want to immerse yourself in automotive history, a visit will be well worth your time.
That place is an automotive time capsule. We'll have a link to the museum and Miller Motors on our blog. Now, back to Tim and the team.
For Tim and the volunteers, this week has been nothing short of a miracle.
So we just got the door jambs painted, pulled it out of the booth, put it back up on the lift. We're getting ready to put the transmission, part of the exhaust in, and then bolt the motor to it. Tom already had a really good start on his Hudson in his home garage, and he had a lot of good parts to start with. So we actually used these block hugger headers that he had, sent them out to nitro plate, and had them coated and freshened up.
Up.
You're low on the floor.
So we've got Tim's head underneath the bottom, just in case the engine drops. That way it'll cushion it and won't scratch the paint.
Yeah, it'll bounce.
Man, guys, we did a ton of work this week. This thing was bare metal when you guys walked in. We body worked it, we primed it, and we did the bottom. We got the motor and tranny in it. The bottom's done, the firewall's painted. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys kicked serious butt this week.
Looks good. Looks good. They did a nice job on the chop. Rounded the corners of the hood and the trunk. Look good. This will be easy for us this week.
If you see anything that you think needs to be done, I mean, run your hands over this thing. Throw some love into it.
Drip reel still needs some work, but the rest of the lines look really good.
10 down, 10 more days to go before the 51 Hudson is reunited with its owner. And the start of week 3 brings more volunteers.
When you're doing a complete one-off custom build, there's a whole bunch of stuff you got to decide. You don't just order an interior kit out of some catalog and throw it in, and order a stereo and throw it in. It takes a lot of planning for all these guys. So we had the interior guys show up, start doing planning, and stereo guys came over, started doing planning where the subs and the stereo box, all that stuff's going to be. So make sure it's all right once it's all done.
While the lead sled gets prepped for paint, Sean and Jenna Christ get started on the interior.
It's already been gutted for us, so we're going to go ahead and create a design for the customer, for the car. We'll fabricate all new panels for it. Over the course of the build, you'll see us installing different items, door panels, kick panels, quarter panels, and they'll all be completely one-offs, completely original just for this vehicle.
Jenna and Sean are a unique couple. Their custom hot rod interiors are second to none. And their business model is also unique.
We travel the country doing mobile hot rod interior services. We have an RV and a van we pack everything into, and instead of customers bringing their vehicles to us, we take the shop to them. She prefers the term gypsy. I like the term nomad. It takes two odd people like Jenna and myself to do something like that. It's very adventuresome. We get to meet some great people across the country doing it.
I handpick all the volunteers and the people that come. I've used their interior skills in my personal shop. Once you see this thing all done, you'll understand why they're here. We got the car in the booth. We got it all cleaned down, prepped, masked. Once we got the sealer all sprayed and it dried, we all went in there and talked about the paint scheme. Okay, so we got to figure out where we're going to lay the colors on this thing. DuPont has this book that they call the Spectromaster book. It's just full of paint chips. That's pretty much where I pick all my colors from. So I just flip through these books, take them out in the sun, hold them up to the car, kind of visualize what it's going to look like in the overall big picture. We had an artist rendering, I had an idea, a couple other people had some ideas, we all came to an agreement because we all want to be happy with the way this thing looks. I kind of like what we came up with.
What we actually have here is we have a dark blue base, which is going to be the pinstripe around the cream cove that's in here. We're going to mask both of those sections off so we can spray the entire car blue now.
The artwork had like a cove, which we thought it looked too much like a 60s Corvette. So we changed it and brought the cove back a little bit, got rid of a cove, and basically made an old panel. I call it a Watson style. Larry Watson was a very trend-setting painter in the 50s and 60s, and he did a lot of really cool panels and really cool stripes and colors on a lot of oddball cars, and that's kind of what we're paying homage to.
Now, Tim brought back a previous volunteer from the 48 Trucks build. Chris Ryan is a successful shop owner and custom expert. He'll assist in this tandem job of laying down the 3 colors.
The colors we're using, it's kind of a tri-tone paint job. From a distance, it's just going to look like 2 colors, but you get up close to it, and there's a little fine line pinstripe around the separating colors. It just kind of breaks it all up, gives it a little more color. I get a little nervous when it's come to lay down the color because it's chemicals, you're spraying in the air, you're hoping it's going to hit on the car and stick just right and not slide off the thing. Pretty much how it goes. You can be as best as you want to be, but there's still stuff that can happen when you're dealing with chemicals. So I'm a little nervous this morning. We got one more color to put on the whole body. If we get a little dust in it, we'll go back, scuff it out, blow a little color on it, let it flash off, and then we'll put all the clear on it. We do all the colors at once, then we unmask it and we clear over it so you got a nice smooth edge once we wet sand and buff it. We'll put about 7 coats of clear on it. The clear that I use has no reducer in it, so it doesn't solvent pop. You can pile that stuff on and it's good to go. Yeah, there's 7 coats on it now, but we're probably going to remove about 4 with the sanding.
Baked and removed from the oven, Tim and our volunteers guide the Hudson to the main floor to begin step 1 of sanding multiple layers of clear to perfection.
The color just pops. It's dark on the side, it's bright on the face tone. Heck yeah, man. That's awesome.
It looks that much better out here above these lights that are clear up there. I can't wait to get it cut, polished, and outside in the sun. It'll look electric.
It's beautiful. You've got dark blue, light blue, cream. What more could you ask for?
The car's low and fat like me, so it's
you know, of course I'm gonna dig it.
Everybody took a turn on painting it. It was a fun time.
It's all about the volunteers and business owners who keep this project moving, most of whom bring varied skills. From a gearhead who builds custom bobbers to a young auto detailer from Memphis. These guys allow us to complete a custom in an unheard of 20 days.
We sand more and more and more just to get it that much flatter and nicer and cleaner.
Get a scratch on that one, don't you?
With 6 layers of clear added, the guys buff, and buff some more, leaving about 2 layers of clear behind.
We're taking all the scratches from the sandpaper out of the paint, and we're going to be slowly cutting it layer by layer until there's nothing left and the clear coat's pure.
What I like to do is take each section after I remove it from the box, string it out.
We got this guy that came all the way from Iowa. One of my good friends works at his shop, and he wanted to come and help, and he's awesome. He's been great paint, great wiring. He just took the wiring under his control once we got out of the paint booth, and he's doing an awesome job. So he keeps asking me, hey, what about this? What about this? And I was like, dude, I trust you, just do whatever. Have you noticed he kind of looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons? Well, if you look behind me, we have this guy, Kevin, from that Trucks TV show. You can kind of look at the car. Look, see how he's standing up on his tippy toes to reach the car? It's kind of mean how we're doing that, and oh, sorry. Ow!
Just what is it about the Hudson that makes it collectible? Plus, its rich racing history attracts NASCAR driver Sam Hornish Jr. to check out our progress. Stay tuned. Day 13, and after 2,200 man-hours, Tom Moore's classic 51 Hudson Hornet heads into the final fitment stages. The men are crafting a full-on custom, which many gearheads feel was in the original spirit of the brand. From the 1909 Model 20 Roadster to the early 50s Commodores and Hornets, the car was ahead of its time. Step-down frame helped lower the center of gravity. The high-compression Hornet 6 with twin H-power was torquey. Hudsons were built for performance.
The Hudson was a very, lots of people say, over-engineered car.
Collector Mike Whited has 6 of them.
Where Ford or Chevy or Chrysler products might have half a dozen bolts holding the front fender on, a Hudson's got a dozen of them. It was an expensive car. Hudson was an expensive car, so, you know, there had to be reasons for it to be expensive. He was built very well.
And the looks?
Most people is shocked by what an odd-looking car they are. They call them upside-down bathtubs and call them all kinds of names.
One name they called it was NASCAR Champion. In 1951, 5 different drivers took the fabulous Hudson Hornet to checkered in 13 Grand National races. The following year, 27 victories. So when former Indy 500 champion and current NASCAR driver Sam Hornish Jr. heard we were building a Hudson,
Good, how you doing?
he came by to check it out.
What kind of power plant are you putting in?
Actually, it's a 440 done by Indy cylinder head with some fast fuel injection. And
I think it's pretty crazy, you know, but I guess it's probably pretty similar to flying back and forth from Pocono to Iowa, you know, 4 times in a weekend to be able to run 2 different series. But I think that it's great that, you know, they're basically doing it on a volunteer basis where, you know, a lot of these guys come in here and just, you know, work this many hours to be able to kind of fulfill somebody else's dream is really cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. This is our brand new windshield, ready to be cut. We have our template ready that we made from the original windshield. We're gonna lay our template on, and there's our mark. Hopefully nothing happens. You're always a little nervous when it comes to cutting glass. Shouldn't be, because that's when mistakes happen. This is a one-shot deal, so I have to ask the camera guy, back away and give me a little space. Here we go. Take my glass cutter and I run the line. Then I take my run pliers and get the run started, which is the crack. And then I tap the glass to get the glass to run where I want it to. I take my propane torch and heat it up, which is melting the laminate between the glass. And that's how you cut a curved windshield.
On the Hudson, we wanted a really cool suspension that we could adjust the ride height. So we called up our friends at Ride Tech. They sent us everything we need. Full Pro E3 ride kit. It's got the valves, compressor, 3 settings, ride height, all the way up, and dump. Pull into a cruise night, bang, goes on the ground. They know us hot rodders don't read instructions. So in the instructions envelope, they put it do not open, so you know you gotta open it.
Now, in keeping with the 50s custom theme, you gotta have wide whites. So we got this wheel and tire package from Coker Tire. It blends all the benefits of a modern radial with the classic look of a wide white wall. We also went to Summit Racing and got these chrome wheels. They're period correct and they look perfect. But the real icing on the cake is the center cap.
On the brake kit for the Hudson, we called up our friends at Bear Brakes. They sent us complete kit, front and rear. We got 4 piston calipers. They even sent us hubs and rotors, which are drilled, vented, and directional. Bigger's not always better. Ultra performance, 4 piston, and they still fit underneath a 15-inch wheel.
With the long week of hard work finally at its end, the guys can stand back and take a look at their new creation.
Now, the volunteers, yes, of course they bring skill, but you don't get that kind of result without putting a lot of heart into it. These guys knocked it out of the park.
The volunteers are amazing, closing down their shops and coming here to help a fellow gearhead they've never even met. Well, that's all about to change as Tom and his family arrive for the Hudson reveal.
We've seen this tired old lady go from partially restored to a full-blown custom masterpiece. And on this edition of Search and Restore, she gets buttoned up and driven when our lucky PowerBlock viewer retakes ownership of his prized possession.
Okay guys, beginning of the last week. We're gonna put this thing up on the lift. We'll start running the fuel line, mount the fuel pump, run the battery cables.
A lot of work yet to be done in just a few days.
Check, make sure what was done, figure out where we were on the air ride from the week before. We gotta have everything powered up. We got motor guys coming tomorrow morning, so we need to have this thing ready to run. Stereo guys here working around us. We got a lot of stuff to do in a short amount of time.
What do I think of the car?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I can't believe they got this much done in 3 weeks. This guy's gonna have one hell of a car when he's done.
In the 50s, diamonds were a girl's best friend, and the Hudson, not to be outdone, flashed its own set of jewelry.
We don't just use advanced plating because they're here in Nashville. We use them because they're the best in the business.
When you start one-piece in bumpers, they're a challenge. Adding studs, stretching grills, removing parking lights, makes for a pretty unique car, which is what we want to be a part of.
It's really awesome.
I got to stay on my toes or else the paint and body guy's going to make me look bad.
Hagen Street Rod supplied us with their teardrop armrest. Very cool, and they were easy to cover.
How's that the easy installation?
Wow, that's great.
Sean and Jenna Christ from Christ Customs returned for the final week of the build, finishing up their amazing headliner, along with carpet supplied by Bowen Foam and Fabric, and one-of-a-kind door panels.
The car's pretty naked to start off with. There's literally no speaker locations in the vehicle. It gives me free range to do anything I want. I'm building a fiberglass valance that just wraps around underneath the bottom of the dash. Boom, I've got a place to put my speakers. Kicker supplied us with the KS line of components. Much boom mat as they put in this car. It's gonna have a real dense, heavy, thick sound to it.
With over 3,000 man-hours invested in this build, it's not only the volunteers that make this possible. Many companies generously donated their parts and services in an effort to give back to the Moore family.
We do high-performance starters and alternators. We've been making starters and alternators in West Chicago, Illinois since 1981.
Hand me that over the frame railer.
Chicago Driveline provided a steel custom drive shaft that, when unleashed, can handle the 500-plus horsepower that this lead sled will crank out. All-Star Performance cooled this project with their radiator, fan, and shroud kit. We picked up a Detroit Locker limited slip carrier from our buds at Summit Racing.
On week 1, we reshaped the whole dash by using a Motorhead Design House gauge cluster, had it chrome, fill the center with some blue marble guitar pick guard, cut 2 holes in it, and we're gonna use some classic instruments, white hot series gauges, 2 simple holes with all the gauges you need. Week 4 is pretty much about stress and no sleep. By the end of the week, it's gonna look like a car, sound like a car, hopefully even drive like a car.
Coming up, see what Hudson had in common with another famous oddball make. And we'll meet a car builder who's helping keep Preston Tucker's dream alive with his one-off customs. Stay tuned.
I don't really like to dwell on how short a time we got to build this car. We're just trying to do the best job we can in the amount of time that we're allotted, and the crew that I have this week is knocking it out of the park. I got my buddy Rob Ida to come finally. I've been begging him to come since we started doing this show. Man, every time I look at an Ida car, it's respect. When I told him we were building a custom and a Hudson, he says, count me in and I'm gonna bring some dudes with me.
Those dudes are a pair of twins and a car collector who have a lot in common. Mainly their love for the infamous Tucker Torpedo.
Well, my grandfather owned a dealership in Yonkers, New York, back in '47. And they promoted the Tucker quickly, but fiercely. And as we all know, the Tucker company didn't live on past the 50 cars that they produced.
So Rob teamed up with Sean and Mike, who are Preston Tucker's grandsons. Together they created a concept they call the Tucker 48, a 100% handmade tribute to a dream never fulfilled.
Anybody could make a fake car, and what they did is something very different.
So the movie came out and there was interest in Tucker. And I think for us, we want to be as big a part of that as possible and make sure that we're keeping the interest of what our grandfather's intentions kind of alive.
It's just an amazing thing that car can mean so much that it keeps people like us together generations down the line. I've always been a fan of Hudson cars. And then when Tim called me and asked me if I'd come and give a hand on this Hudson project, I said, oh, that's perfect. That's right up our alley. That's something that we can relate to.
They were kind of cars produced in the same spirit. They were very well built, very innovative cars, just like Tucker was.
One of the major features that we can see working on the Hudson out here is the frame construction is very similar to a Tucker. Hudsons were known for their step-down frame starting, I think, in 1948, ironically the year Tucker was released. There's definitely design continuities, and even just the shape of it. You can tell a Hudson from any other car from the late 50s, and I think a Tucker is very, very much unique in that respect as well.
We're getting all the AC lines run and hooked up to the compressor and the condenser and the bulkhead on the firewall.
So another custom thing we're doing on this car is some side moldings. We're going to use part of the original Hudson trim with some of this aluminum trim we got from Clayton Machine Works. Just going to cut it, stick it on there, make some really cool side moldings.
The Hudson is getting a lithium-ion battery from Lithionics. It weighs only 15 pounds and has a never die button where you can turn the battery off when stored. Plus, an automatic low-voltage cutoff stores enough cranking power you'll never need a jump start again.
Since our big block 500 street wedge has already been broken in on the dyno at Indy's cylinder head, now we're ready to add some Mobil 1 fully synthetic extended performance 1030. This advanced fully synthetic motor oil has the highest level of protection and performance and will help keep your engine running like new. Plus, Mobil 1 guarantees that performance and protection for up to 15,000 miles between oil changes.
Ahead, it's an emotional reunion of man and machine when our owner lays eyes on his old but new lead sled. Day 20, and for our volunteers, this feeling is mutual.
I'm tired. It's been a long week. We worked hard, had a few glitches, got past it. Now it's money time.
But not before crunch time, when all the little things are buttoned up. Night Prowlers sent us some accessories, including a classic Impala steering wheel and a Cadillac air cleaner that we also painted to match the car.
So what do you do when you have a complete custom car and you do a lot of body mods and a stock weather strip just may not fit? Steel has the answer for you. It's a universal peel and stick. They make many different sizes and thicknesses. I like to use it in the door jambs, and then I'll show you a little trick how to figure out which one you need. You don't want the weather strip too tight because then it's really hard to close the door and it might make the door stick out even when it's closed. So I've got two of the thicknesses. See, that one kind of pulls out a little easy down there. So that tells me I need to use the thicker one.
I think it's wild, I mean, that you can get such a group of people from Texas, New Jersey, East Tennessee, and you're all just trying to help this guy. And then it's good to give something back to something that's been so good to you.
You know, I'm not here from any big rod shop. You know, I'm just a regular everyday technician, but I still wanted to get on the action just to give back. It's pretty neat just being around everybody.
I really get nervous when we hook the battery up the first time and we get ready to start it for the first time. Everything in this thing is new. Something's not right, that ain't good.
This Hudson is the first time we've ever put a 440 in a Hudson. It's an engine that we build a lot of, a 500 cubic inch engine that makes horsepower and torque. You change the cylinder heads on them, the manifolds on them. This engine makes about 600 horsepower and it makes as much torque, so that makes a great street motor.
All right, Tim, you ready? Start it? Hit it, okay. Not only did Ken and Russ from Any Cylinder Head build this 440 in their facility, they cared enough to come down, help us get it running, and make sure it was right. They were awesome.
That sounds good. Looks good too.
Sounds pretty good. A little bit of exhaust leak. Finally got it pretty close, I think.
After a lot of work, we got all the wiring straightened out, and it runs great.
Put it forward. A lot of weird thoughts, you know, goosebumps, nervous today. I about got sick a couple of times. I was so nervous trying to get everything done. And I stand back and I look at this and I know I did my job right because I picked the right crew to come in all 4 weeks on this, from the metal guys to the body guys to the paint guys to the assembly guys to the interior people. Everybody did an awesome job on this. Can't wait till Tom sees this baby. So here it is, the big day has arrived. I'm a little bit nervous. Our PowerBlock viewers showing up today to get a peek at this car. We took it a little over a month ago and put this 51 Hudson Hornet through a complete custom transformation. Tom already had a really good start on the Hudson and a whole shelf full of parts, and we brought it all back to the tech center and put it together. And thanks to my crew of volunteers and dozens of aftermarket companies and about 3,000 man hours, we got a full-on custom Hornet sitting here. It's chopped, it's dropped, it's smooth, and a lot of the ideas were Tom's to begin with. 55 Olds headlight rings, 39 Lincoln Zephyr taillights, custom moldings everywhere, shaved, smooth, and rounded corners, and huge Chrysler V8 power, something the original Hornet never had. And comparing the before shot to this 2-inch chopped roof, Tom's dream car is a piece of art like no other. And when Tom sits in this thing, he's gonna be surrounded by everything cool and custom. Custom headliner, custom door panels, even custom seats.
Hey guys, welcome. Come on in.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
While Kevin's up front getting the family all excited, we're gonna move this Hudson around the corner and get ready for the big surprise.
First of all, it's great to have you guys here. How was the trip?
Great. Good.
What has this done for the family? How has it changed? Has it changed anything?
It's given hope that your dreams can come alive. Like, don't give up. And I think it's just brought everyone so much closer together.
Okay, Kevin, we're ready. Bring them on down.
Are we ready?
Yes.
We're ready. Let's go.
Everybody, this is Tom and Lisa Moore from Montrose, Michigan. What are all these people doing here with you? Is this like the whole town or what?
Family. Part of the family.
This is all the volunteers, or part of the volunteers that worked on your car. A lot of these guys traveled from all over the country, shut down their shops, spent their own money traveling here. We put over 3,000 man hours into your Hudson.
Wow.
I remember on your guys' videotape that you sent in, and when we talked to you, that you two had a promise. Tell us, remind everybody what your promise was.
It's just something I put on the bathroom. I slid it in their little slot in the bathroom for years. To my loving husband, you are the most wonderful man I know, and Taylor, read it. I can't read it. You deserve so much for all you do. I promise that once I'm done with college, I will work 2 jobs if necessary to get the Hudson done. I love you so much. Love me.
Well, what we've done for the last month, I think we're gonna help you guys fulfill your promises to each other. So, Kevin, we're gonna go get it?
Yep.
Do you recognize it as your old car?
Yeah.
We all kind of thought that it needed chopped. I know we didn't want to chop it much because a Hudson doesn't have a tall top like a Mercury does, but we really wanted to give you really something really awesome. So let's go get a little closer look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Some of the guys extended the fenders out, dropped it down to follow the line of the hood, shaved all the bumpers. We left the hood ornament on it, put a little splash of color around that. It's got some of the Hudson trim on the side. It's still got, you know, all the stainless around the windows. We didn't over smooth it. We didn't do a modern custom. We did a true 50s, 60s like you kind of like. You want to see the inside of the car? You want to see the inside or the engine first?
Engine.
I guess we're going to the engine. Let's go to the engine. You wanted to keep it Chrysler powered. Hudson kind of had some ties to Chrysler back in the day, so we did keep the 440. Oh my God. All the colors go through. The colors off the side are on the firewall and the air cleaner. Aluminum heads, Indy cylinder head, 440. The dyno sheet says like 500 and something horsepower and torque.
Yeah, it's 525 horse, 575 foot-pounds of torque. It's 9.5 to 1 on pump gas, so you're golden to cruise.
Let's show you the interior in this baby. Got aftermarket front buckets, got a console. You can fire that baby up. You don't need to give it any gas, you can just, yeah. We'll have Chris Robinson from New South Motorsports come over and give you a little tour of the stereo system.
Let's go ahead and show you the stereo here. Got a Kenwood Exelon deck. Okay, it's got high voltage outputs on it. It's got the Bluetooth microphone. You can make wireless phone calls.
Okay.
To play music off your phone without even taking it out of your pocket.
Something like this to happen to him, I can't put it into words.
You have no idea how many car shows, how many family vacations. We are going to be in this car constantly. I don't even think Dad's going to sleep in the house anymore. I think he's going to sleep in the car.
This is by far
Rewards.
the most rewarding thing that could have ever. They're so deserving of this.
To be a part of a team that took his vision and turned it into reality, it was a great experience just for me. You know, I wasn't doing something nice just for Tom. It was nice for us as a team.
Uncle Tom's going to drive it everywhere. I know he's going to take Grandma in it. She's said once it's done, she wants to ride shotgun.
What do you think? Feel good?
I love it. It feels real good, Tim.
You look cool sitting over there.
Thank you.
I think this is cool. I had them chrome that. I think it looks really cool with all the dash stuff.
Very cool.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Wow, another terrific build. That Hornet is just plain gorgeous. Congrats to Tim, our volunteers, and all of the sponsors who donated parts. Well done, guys. I'm Courtney Hansen. Thanks for watching.